Well, can he? He can.
Yes,
He's
he
gonna show you today. This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to The Big Finish. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie Schreiner.
And I'm the other host, Becca Kenny.
And today, we are so excited to have the very special, the very hilarious, the very beautiful and amazing Tiny Thickemz as our guest. Hi, Tiny.
Yay! Tiny, how are you feeling today?
I am good.
Good.
Are you feeling ferocious or fucking furious today? How are we doing?
I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Good.
You're like, no follow-up questions on my feelings.
Yeah, that's fair. Are you feeling ferocious or furious?
I feel like neither. I'm feeling like, yeah.
Yeah?
Just, yeah.
I guess I'm kind of too.
Yeah.
I wish I had some notes. I would let you all both went to take a sip at the same time. Yeah. Boring day at work. I'm trying to think of something now that I'm mad about.
Mad?
I'm not really mad about anything.
I'm not mad about nothing.
What am I happy about though either?
That's why I said I feel like it's like, what am I mad about? What am I happy about? I feel like I'm neutral about. I had a good weekend. I actually am being unfair. I was happy for 48 entire hours, and now we're back to. Yeah, I'm alive.
Why were you happy for 48 hours? I like that phrasing. Why were you happy for 48 hours? How could that possibly have happened? What drugs were you taking?
So I managed to get on a standby flight to go surprise. So my family was at Universal Studios because my brother goes to college on August 13th.
Okay.
And so I didn't tell any of them that I was going to meet them there, and I surprised them and showed up. And so I got to go around Universal Orlando with my fam and my dad. You know, my dad had been famously fighting colon cancer and is in remission now, and so it was very like
that's super exciting.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I'm so
Yes.
glad that your dad's in remission. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was just fun to get to like see him out doing stuff. It's kind of funny that you're laughing because it's like it is something that's like it's so heavy that it's like, how do I talk about it?
It just sounds so like wooden to be like, I'm so glad your dad's in remission. What a psychopathic like robot thing to say. I'm like
Ooh.
I mean, and I am. I'm not mad your dad's in remission. I'm very happy about it, but it feels weird to say that, you know?
I will say I did have I had a dramatic coming of age movie moment where I was just standing in the middle of this pool area that I like last time I was there. I was probably like 7. That was the last time we went on a vacation there. And I kind of like did a slow circular turn and looked around like all 180. It's probably 360. It's 360. Yeah. And I could hear Landslide by Fleetwood Mac playing underneath me, and I was like tearing up a bit. And my sister swam over. She said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I'm so fucking old now." And she said, "Don't start." And then we both cried a little bit because we're both so fucking old now. And that was honestly my favorite part of the trip because it was so extra.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
I really painted a picture there. But then, there's my dad over there being like, "I'm in remission."
Well, yeah. I would be that way too if I was in remission. You know,
in remission. No, I mean, he was a.
It's the remission.
No.
It's the mission. But, better than, I guess, doing the
better
R.
to
Kelly
slay
songs.
than lay.
Can you do parodies of R. Kelly songs? Is that okay?
TikTok does. TikTok absolutely does.
Okay.
I will not personally speak on if it's okay or not okay, but I feel like TikTok has spoken. And I mean, the trending audio looks at me and I look at him. And he looks. That's been trending on TikTok for like literally 5 years. TikTok hasn't even been popping for 5 years, but it feels like
a TikTok though.
Yeah.
Before anything.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go buy a gun and I'm gonna set this mofo off. That's another one that is on TikTok. Anyway, sorry, that was an ADHD moment.
I'm glad we need this encyclopedia of R. Kelly parody songs on TikTok so that if any heat comes on me, we have the backup, we have the receipts, we know that this was okay.
We can cite the
Tiny,
sources.
how did you have a good weekend?
I did shows. I don't got no friends.
Yeah, there is. I like the other weekend. I was like, oh, I don't have any shows like this weekend, and I'm like, I could just kind of like hang around and do
Be regular. Be regular.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
I said. Be regular. I go outside like a regular person, but it don't always work out like
well,
that.
you have that one. You host the Nasty Show every
Yeah.
Saturday at the Laugh Factory.
So I don't do nothing on Fridays. Come
So,
on.
okay, go see Tiny at the
Laugh
Nasty
Factory,
Show.
yeah.
It's a great show. But I feel like it must be tough because some Saturdays you must get done and you're so fucking tired.
If I stay outside all day,
Yeah.
I'll be exhausted.
by the end,
And
yeah.
I tell comedians, look, I ain't probably gonna suck tonight. Y'all do y'all shit. I'm gonna be horrible. Y'all do y'all shit.
I don't believe it. I don't think I've ever really seen you do poorly.
Girl,
Yeah. You always bring the energy. And
Every
I feel
time
like,
I've seen it.
2 weeks ago,
no.
it was so quiet. I'm like, oh, all right.
It is a hard job hosting though, especially the Nasty Show, because that's like that audience can be like really, they're already fucked up, they're like unruly, they're like talking a lot more. Like I feel like that's a really difficult show to host that you do really
If
well.
people don't come ready to laugh or hear Nancy jokes, like 2
Yeah,
weeks ago
yeah,
when I
yeah.
bombed, I felt like I was at a 7:00 show. I'm like,
Oh
It's
God,
11.
it
I'm
is
like,
the worst. when
y'all
you're
like sucking dick?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I feel like it's like it's got to be so cognitively dissonant to have 1 week that's like that, and the next week it's like crickets, and like another week where people are talking and yelling, and another week where like I feel like sometimes I go and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are so stoned, you should have gone to sleep. Like they're sitting there just like you're not there. It's
You always did great at my show, though. You always.
I feel like my main frustration with myself is I need to write a new like slutty bop, but I'm kind of in my celibate drinking water, taking baths with candles era, so I just don't have anything new that's nasty.
You was
Like
grown.
yeah, I'm
I
like
doubt.
she's growing up. You know, she's standing in the pool going, I've been afraid. Like that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, I feel like
I'm so wet because I drink so much water.
because I am thirsty. I feel like I could do like a hemorrhoid song, but that's probably too much information.
Some people got hemorrhoids, though.
You know, it does happen. It's happened to me famously.
It's happened to you
I
famously?
will say I have not. I used to. I'll be vulnerable here. I used to get hemorrhoids a lot, but since I've switched to a bidet, it really has stopped. And that is my honest to God truth. So if you're in America and you have chronic hemorrhoids, I do recommend a bidet. Our culture is behind in this way. There is just no doubt about it. Have you ever used a bidet? Oh
I got
my
thumb on my
God,
booty.
Tiny, it will change your life.
You got a bidet at your house?
Yeah.
Okay, come over.
They're not that expensive either. You can get one for like $30.
30? Because the thing
Yeah.
is, the ones I saw were like 100, and I was like, I don't want to spend 100
If
on
you
that.
want to get like if you want to like splurge a little, which I recommend, you know, like
Self-care?
getting like, well, I shouldn't be recommending unless I'm sponsored. I'm like a bidet. You know, if you want me to tell people to put water up their butt, like call me.
Give Beckett money.
I will give you my number yesterday. I will scream to the hills that people need to get water up their butt right now because and I'm not just saying this to be funny and gross, even though you know, God bless America. But like, I'm also saying this because this is the right thing to do for your butthole, and you know what I mean. And but yeah, the $30 ones are just cold water, which is the one that I have.
Because your ass be hot.
That is so funny to me. That is so funny. That is so funny.
I wanted to get a bidet. I just kind of like one of my friends has a really nice one that's like a heated seat and like the warm water, and like it also has the one that like shoots at your pee hole if
That
you want to
one's
use
nice.
it. And that was really nice. But it's
no,
like
I mean, mine shoots up the pee hole too. By the way, there's separate little dials.
So this
You
is
do
this
one-
a toy. This is a masturbation.
Yeah.
Clean up
I will
toy.
say one of my first times when I was like trying to be like, I'm gay and I want to get fucked. Okay, well, get ready. Buckle up, guys. Buckle up. Buckle up, yeah. I like there was like a jacuzzi in this hotel room and I like locked the doors and I like put my butt up to the water jet and like to like, you know, like to feel what it would be like to get like fucked. And I had the most, and it was like, I was kind of like, oh wow. And it like felt good because it was water and it's, you know, but then like all of a sudden it was like, oh God. And I had to like run to the toilet and it like all came back out and like I was watered up, you know, it was like a deluge, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's.
But that's not what I'm never like cleaning my butt like with the bidet and like, oh yeah. But be my guest. Be my guest.
I'm gonna go to the jacuzzi
now. See what's going on with that. I feel like I did. We had a bathtub that had jets, and I remember like reading a Cosmopolitan magazine that talked about the clitoris, which is how I pronounced it in my brain because I was 12, and I was like, I wonder what that would be like, and I turned my clitoris towards the thing, and I was like, oh. I feel something, you know. Like, yeah, you know, as you do.
Happen?
Oh, you know.
Yeah. I also remember I figured out what penis meant because I was reading an article in, I think it was like a Time magazine. Reading. I know, I was reading. Kids at home, put down the iPads and be like me. Read Time magazine when your parents aren't looking and read the article about the volleyball coach that was sexually assaulting the students. That was how I figured out what a penis was because it was like he exposed his penis and I was like, what's that? And I was like,
not the best time to be introduced to a penis.
Yeah, not really the best time to figure out what that is. Because I was like, yeah, I must have been younger than 12 because it was before I knew that people had different parts. Because my parents conveniently didn't tell us that because we had 3 daughters.
I knew people had different parts, but I didn't know they were that different. Mm-hmm. I like thought that like vaginas were penis light for forever. You know what I mean?
I did too. Yeah. When I was scared, like, oh, I got a little penis.
Yeah,
a little diggling.
I played with dolls, and everybody had like smooth bottoms, so I just assumed people were anatomically like the dolls, but that was not true.
Did you guys see the Barbie movie?
I did not.
I did. I think we might have talked about the Barbie movie, but we could talk about it again.
No, we're good.
But
Tiny hasn't seen it.
What about what did I want to talk about? Somebody adjacent to the Barbie movie, and I'm forgetting. I feel like I'm completely
Lizzo.
Oh yes, I feel like that would be
okay because I have opinions on Lizzo. Do you have opinions on Lizzo?
I don't give a fuck about no celebrity. But y'all can talk about if I can know.
Like, I don't give a shit.
I saw it on Facebook. I'm like, all right, she did something else. What she?
You know, listen. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but okay. So the one is this. Oh God, am I gonna give too hot of a take? I'm so scared. I'm so scared my take's gonna be too hot that no one's gonna be.
I'm always like, I'm always like,
I know. If somebody, we've had to take podcasts down because
the takes are a little too.
Some of the takes are boiling. You know, some of the takes are just simmer.
Well, tell them go sit on your bidet. It's cold.
I have a hot ass. If I didn't have a hot ass, I wouldn't be giving so many hot takes. You know what I mean? That's the truth. I got a big hot ass.
That's right.
Warm, completely warm. It's one of those things. If you sat in a chair after me, you'd be like,
yeah. You'd be like,
God damn, hot. Who's sitting right here?
I feel like with the Lizzo thing,
yeah.
All I will say is like whatever did happen, I do think the statement that was put out just didn't follow like typical apology protocol. Like, because I think what I understand from what I've heard from like my friends who like work as like crisis management and press, regardless, like if you have been accused of doing something until things have like blown over, you're supposed to like show accountability, say what you could, or like show accountability, like reflect on what happened, and then say what you're going to do differently. Like your final thing is supposed to be like, this is what I'm going to do differently. And I feel like it's like the message was like immediately like, placing the blame on the people who made the accusations. And so that's why it's like, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like,
but also
you got to be open to the feedback, I guess.
But also, if you have someone lying about you, which I'm not saying is what happened.
Yes.
If somebody was lying about me, and they were like, you have to apologize, I'd be like, I'm not going to apologize. Fuck them. I'm like, I hope a bunch of people, go on there. I'm not saying that that's what happened, and I think that a lot of people, like Trump denies things all the time that he clearly did. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it works for people and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes telling the truth works for people and sometimes it doesn't. But like, I think there's a lot of ambiguity in the situation. So I don't think there's a conclusion to be had still. Because like, I think like the situations that like were described in the lawsuit from what I saw were like, one of them was the accusation that she like made fun of their weight, which I have a really hard time believing that.
That's fair.
And apparently it was that she was not performing at the same, like she was. They like sat her down and were like, "Are you okay?" Like it feels like you haven't been performing at the same level. It feels like you haven't been as bubbly, as energetic, And so she said, and so that felt like her to be an implication that like she was gaining too much weight, which I'm not saying that didn't happen, because I think there are two ways. I think
Yeah.
I just gave a full like Bellagio like fountain like
fountain spit. It was beautiful.
Just like Cupid baby, you know, like
it was
spitting
dripping.
water. You know, I feel like it's like possible that she did like imply to lose weight, but I also think it's possible that like this dancer wasn't performing at the same level, and maybe that's harsh, but it's also like that's showbiz, honey. And then,
all I was gonna add into the mix is it's like I think that like we also have to look at the reality of like the way that we're treating a black woman who has allegations made by other black women versus how we would treat like a man with allegations from women, or I feel like I think we can all agree like sexual assault isn't okay, period, full stop. But I do feel like people are more quick to condemn Lizzo immediately than they have been in the past to condemn Michael Jackson, to condemn R. Kelly, you know what I mean? Like I think that to me does show like the larger cultural issue of like, oh, and I feel like the same thing kind of happened, not exactly the same thing, but like with Lena Dunham, when her stuff came out, the story she told about her sister, everyone immediately was like, fuck Lena, we're done, fuck her. Whereas it's like people are a lot faster to defend men than they are women. And I feel like that is problematic to me, but it's also problematic that people will deny the stories from the women who are making the accusations. That's why I feel like it's a thing where it's like we all need to kind of just let the actual evidence come to the surface.
Because the other accusation was that they she went to a sex club, and then the backup dancers went to the sex club in Amsterdam with Lizzo because they felt like
pressured to go.
Well, they said that like they felt like that Lizzo, but the way they described it is not specifically that they were told like your job is going to be at stake, you're not going to be, but it's like if you're on tour as a pop star, this is kind of how I think about it. If you're on tour as a pop star going to like all these countries in the world, you don't know people in all these places, so of course you're hanging out with your dancers, and of course you get closer to the ones you're hanging out with, probably a ton of people wanted to go to the sex club in Amsterdam because I would, you know what I mean? Like that sounds like fun as fuck, and like to go with a huge pop star to like, you know, and so I think at a certain point, now there is a situation in this where it could be the truth is that they were unfairly pressured to do things in the sex club and go to the sex club, but there's also like a way you could read it where it's like they felt pressured, but it's also like if they weren't really pressured, I feel like at a certain point it's your job to draw your boundaries, like to not go to the sex club, to not do like, and apparently like Lizzo was doing a chant, and there once again like somebody chanting for somebody else to do something can either be, I think we've all seen it go both ways, like where like it's like the person runs away crying, and somebody shouldn't have been chanting for them to do that. And I think we've also seen it the other way, where somebody was a little nervous, but then they did the thing, and then they felt better at the end,
Yeah, but I think that like what's been described, at least by these women, is that they like had the chanting was happening, they felt nervous, they did the thing, and then they were like, oh my God, why did I do that thing? I probably wouldn't have done that thing if it wasn't Lizzo chanting me to do it. And so I think it's like, it's one of those things where it's like,
peer pressure.
Whatever her intentions were, they felt pressured to do something they didn't want to do because of the power role that she had over them. She's their employer. It's the same thing as like if you went out for drinks with your boss and your boss was like, do shots. If you don't want to do a shot, you can't say, no, I'm not going to do a shot. But then it's like, maybe you don't get the promotion, or maybe you don't get an extent. Like people...
I agree. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying it can go either way, because there are situations where these things are unfairly held over people's heads. But I also think there are situations where you're drunk, alcohol's involved, you aren't in a typical job, you aren't treated in a typical way if you're dancers for a pop star, if you're with a pop star, and things get out of hand, and then you feel uncomfortable or like anxious about it later, and maybe in the moment, like, and I'm not saying that that's good either, but it's like, but there's also a situation where they were unfairly pressured to do it, and they did have this thing over their head, and Lizzo was bullying them, and I kind of believe that Lizzo's kind of intimidating and a bitch behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I could believe that. I don't know for sure. Like, she seems very nice, obviously, from what we've seen. But, like, Ellen DeGeneres seems nice, too. Like, J-Lo seems nice, too. I bring up J-Lo every...
J-Lo happens on the podcast every time. I will say, like, with the Lizzo thing, it's a thing where it's, like, I'm speaking as somebody who, like, I literally saw her concert. I was a fan of her before she blew up. I, like, loved her art. And still, like, I still find value in her art. And so it's like, obviously, all of this coming to the surface is really disappointing, because it is so the opposite of the image that's put out.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, where I'm at is I'm like, I'm disappointed. I don't want to believe it's true. But also, I don't want to disregard the statements of, literally at this point, it's like 5 different other Black women have said that she acted in this way. Like, her director of her documentary originally had to step down because she was bullying her. And so a white man ended up taking over it. So, like, maybe if it was like an isolated incident of just the dancers, but it's like, it's now more people have said that they've had the similar experiences, to where it's like, I don't feel like we need, it's a thing where, like I said, where it's like, I think that we as a society are much faster to cancel women for things that men did as well. But I feel like it's a thing where it's like, ultimately, like, she can't behave that way. Like, she can't treat people she works with that way. I think that's, like, where I'm at is, it's like, if what they're saying is true, which is, like, at this point it's 5, you know what I mean? It's 5 people saying it. There's...
But they're not all saying the same things.
Yes. That's fair.
They're not all saying the same things. They're saying that none of them liked working with Lizzo, and that Lizzo was not a good person for them to have worked with.
Yes.
All of them are saying that. The reasons they're giving are different, and I think that different things are being emphasized in the article, and I think different things can be true, and can be true in moments of a person. I don't know what the work environment was from day to day. I don't know what the situation was like in the bar, and it wasn't appropriate. I guess that, like, you it'd be undoubtable to be in a situation like with my boss, where, like, they would take me to a sex club and then say that, but being a dancer for Lizzo is different in a way.
Yeah, I agree that it's different, and I feel like it's, I guess where I'm at with it is, it's just like, I think that
I'm not
going
saying that
forward, I think going forward, like, Lizzo as a performer has to, you know, as she continues her work, be aware of the power she yields in situations and use it for good. And I get that it's difficult to have that much spotlight and pressure on you at all times, and I do feel like we have a guest that hasn't talked for like 10 minutes, so I want to move to a different topic. But
this Lizzo. So basically, Lizzo is a big bully.
Yeah,
that's what like the allegations are saying, and also it's like there's like sexual harassment allegations.
She did sexual harassment.
The sexual harassment allegations are basically like, while they're at the sex club, she like pressured certain members of her staff to like I think it was like eat bananas out of people's vaginas, and then even saying it out loud is like, it's just so not an experience you would have working in corporate America.
But they say when it comes out to her workers, they couldn't say no.
But that's the thing is we don't know. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you gonna suck that. Okay. It's like either they scared of her. That's another thing too. But whatever.
Yeah. And I think it's like, I think it is a thing where they felt intimidated and scared. And I think it's like they've been let go for like whatever reasons. And I feel like there's like like now they want to get what they feel is owed to them because they feel like they were not like treated fairly by her. And I think it's a thing where it's like we can all speculate about it till the cows come home. But the reality of the situation right now is the dancers and the documentary director, they're saying one thing. She's literally saying that's completely not true. This is my truth. And I think, you know, looking at it logically and like legally, they will have to go to court and it will have to be proven in a court of law. It reminds me of like the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez situation. People took very pointed, different points of view on that. And it ultimately came down to like, they went to court. It was proven by a court of law that he did shoot her in the foot. And so it's like, however you feel about it, there was enough legal evidence for a court to sentence Tory. So it's like, that's kind of how I feel about this situation. It's like, I don't want to take any stance on it. Like, I feel sad about it because obviously I don't want it to be true, but it's like also I understand that especially them not being huge stars, like that has to take so much courage to come forward with something like that it's obviously had to be very carefully considered. And I would like to think would be from a place of sincerity and honesty. Obviously there are situations where people make stuff up, but I feel like there's so many people saying the same thing that there has to be at least some truth in it, whether it's everything's true or just maybe this is a person who's difficult to work with and that's something they need to work on going forward professionally. I
don't know what happened, and I'm saying that the only thing I'm saying, just to clarify, is not that I think that I don't think that it's necessarily untrue that Lizzo made a terrible workplace and that she shouldn't be sued and that they shouldn't win. I also don't necessarily know for sure that it's true, and I want to see how it plays out and stuff. And I think people are jumping too quickly to. And what's frustrating to me is that I feel like this happens online all the time, where these things where people doggy pile people, and I'm not saying that they're like. Some of them are true and some of them aren't true, and like it's hard to decipher which one's which, but I'm like I feel like we need to be more careful in all of these situations of believing people.
Yes. Because
there's a lot of stuff we don't know in this situation, and just, you know, and it's not just about demographics or about what, you know, like there's a lot of stuff that like goes into these things, and like I'm not saying that it's wrong, because it's possible that Lizzo's like a real piece of shit, you know, like
yeah.
But I just think we should in general be like, let's just like not all jump on somebody and like you know, like make the judgments, because even I don't know I think it's totally true, either like that, like it could be very real and it could be a very big problem. I just think that what's said in the lawsuit could go either way, and I think that we need to like wait a little bit.
I agree.
You know?
I totally agree, and I think it's like what we learned in elementary school of like, don't just say things and do things when you're upset. Like let's just like wait until we see all the information. Like let's kind of like let it lie, but like let it run its natural course. Yeah. Let the evidence be presented, and then, because again, like to bring it back to the Megan Tory thing, so many things online perpetuated the story that Tory had nothing to do with it and was innocent and da. But then you go into a court of law, and he's proven guilty, and then people are like, you know, bullying Megan so bad for like the way the case went down, that she literally went offline for 3 or 4 months. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's a thing where it's like, whichever thing ends up being true, the people who were spouting the untrue thing are going to feel like crap when they find out that. So it's like,
I even think that 2 things could be true. Like it could be true that this was a terrible work environment and that Lizzo shouldn't have done that situation. And that also that maybe that Lizzo isn't the worst person in the world, and she's kind of overall kind of a good person. But I do not know.
Here's the thing. Yeah, we don't know right now.
I'm sorry. I cannot believe this whole episode is us talking about Lizzo in front of you, Tiny.
No, it's okay.
I want to ask you
what's popping.
Tiny.
So I usually, when we have guests on, we ask them who their favorite pop star is, and so it doesn't have to be pop star for you. Who's your favorite musical artist, or it could be pop star? It's definitely not Lizzo. Because
I like some of her songs though.
Yeah,
me too.
Boys, that's my favorite one.
I do love Boys.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Who's my favorite artist right now? I'm so ghetto and ratchet at this moment. I like all the women rappers right now. The women rappers is killing.
I agree.
This girl, her name Fendi. She's a Chicago rapper. Outside. I met her before, so she cool people. She is popping.
Yeah.
And I love her. And Cardi B.
I do love Cardi B.
What do you think of Cardi throwing the microphone?
Oh, she got great aim. That was on point, though, when she did it. It was on point, like, yes. I did the same thing, too.
Yeah. Have you thrown something at an audience member before?
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say, because I didn't, and I don't think I could get away with it. I kind of think like... I don't think a guy could get away with throwing it on the mic at an audience member. But like there's times the audience members have deserved it. There's just no doubt about it.
Yeah. I do want to ask, so again, we're talking about the like two sides of the story thing. Somebody online, I saw one thing, they were like, Cardi B said that she was hot and she wanted them to throw drinks like water on stage to cool her off. So she had no right to throw that microphone. Do you think that that's true? I feel like that's not true. The timing of it was so it was so rude.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Then everyone would be throwing water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think of
her
the
hair
one,
was very bouncy too. So it's like she was not wet. She was very dry.
Yeah, that was
And
not
she-
a good hair to get wet.
Yeah.
Was it BB Rexa who was? There's one star.
Oh yeah, she got hit in the face. Did you see that? Have you ever had something crazy like that happen to you on stage?
No, nothing crazy happened to me on stage yet.
You are the crazy thing happening on stage.
The only thing that happened to me, I got booed in New York. I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
They booed you in New York?
Oh yeah, at Salsa Fuego. You been there? Heard that before?
I've not tried to do that one though, because I heard it's so intimidating.
What is it? How does that? What happened?
It's in the Bronx. So I was doing my eating ass joke or whatever. So I was like, I said, ladies, y'all like your ass ate? And somebody in the back, far back, said boo. I said, oh, what? I boo-boo on myself? I said, y'all funny. I said, oh, y'all ain't getting y'all ass ate because y'all ain't sucking enough dick. When I said that, the boo went crazy. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it makes me like
so y'all don't suck dick.
So scared.
Then the song came on. I said, so y'all don't suck dick. Oh, damn.
Oh, damn.
No. Because, yeah, isn't it like once you get booed, they like literally, like you have to get off stage?
Mm-hmm. They play a song and everything.
I'm like.
And I was walking. I was smiling. I was laughing.
Because I heard there's this, I don't want to tell her story for her, but there's a comedian that I know who did the Apollo, and she's a white woman. And it was like she got on stage, immediately got booed. And I was like, heard that story. I was like, I'm scared. Any room where you could just get booed off, I'm like, oh, I'm deaf too. So it won't register right away. I'll be sitting there like, what's going on, everybody? Like, oh, so my worst nightmare. I'm amazed that you lived through that. I feel like that nothing can hurt you after that.
No, it didn't. Cause I'm like, I'm the shit in Chicago.
Fuck you, New York. No, this.
What's the worst you've ever bombed, Tiny?
Shit, I bombed something. Oh, I bombed a lot.
When's the best you ever killed? Do you know that one?
Oh, I did Soho. I killed there before. That's when I got a standing ovation.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the House of Blues. The last time I was
there. That's like both those rooms feel like it'd be like the best feeling because it's just got that like sexy.
I like a small intimate room.
Yeah.
That's something about me, like a small intimate room. That's my type of crowd because it's like I could talk to people for real.
Right.
Yeah. But you can like look at them in the eyes too, and I love that.
That can be the hard thing at Laugh Factory.
Yeah, some like the people in the front, and sometimes they like don't sit in the front if y'all gonna be boring.
Oh, I agree.
I said y'all finna be boring. I said y'all gonna be boring in the front. They're
yeah,
like, no.
why are you gonna go to a comedy show to sit and be boring as fuck in the front. Like, you could be boring in the back.
You know, here's what I'll say. Nobody, when I used to host the Laugh Factory, nobody wanted to sit in the front. They were all terrified of getting made fun of by the comedians, or some of them even getting talked by the comedian. Like, on Saturdays, there was always one group that was like, it was like this guy, and he was dragging his girlfriend. He's like, we're going to sit in the front row. And she's like, oh, no. You know, like, or there's, you know, that one girl who's like, oh, my God, we're going to sit in the front row. And, like, you know, and it's like, and then, like during the show, she's like, I've never been like felt that, and like you know, that one girl, and she goes, but like a lot of the times during like the weekday shows, it was impossible to get people in the front row because they were so scared. So and yeah, it can be hard to do an intimate show in the Laugh Factory.
It's like, I feel like anytime it's a big space and it's intimate, you just wanna just walk into a wall and just bang your head against it. Like, that's how I mean, it just feels like you can feel like the vacuous void of the people not in the back. But
well, the Laugh Factory, it's like, you know, a lot of shows you get 30 people in there. It's like basically any show, the Lincoln Lodge, if you get 30 people in there, it's
bussin'.
Enough.
Yeah,
it's enough. Good. Like, we can make that work.
Yeah.
But like 30 people in the Laugh Factory feels like, oh, nobody's here, you know.
So I will say, when it's like 300 people in the Laugh Factory, that's like,
that is crazy.
Shit.
That
is
is the shit.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, it's really the 9:30 show.
The 9:30
the 9
Saturday.
o'clock show Saturday. Yeah. I love the 9 o'clock show.
It's an amazing room.
Love it. I was gonna ask Tiny, for the kids at home, because we have so many children listening to our podcast, if you could look into the camera and tell them like one piece of life advice that you would give them.
Swallow your kids.
Oh my God, I love that.
Amen.
So my remiss dad, one time I did like it was a BuzzFeed 32 questions to ask your dad while he's still alive, which is like so morbid. But I asked him, what's your one piece of life advice? And he said, don't have kids. And then the next question was, what's your proudest accomplishment in your life? And he was like, my kids. And I was like, that's really sweet. It was giving like the Grinch Shrek energy, you know, like the hate and then the love. Boom, boom. So yeah, swallow your kids, everybody. Swallow those kids. I feel like the one other question I would love to ask you, just especially because we talked about Lizzo for 25 minutes. It wasn't that long, but we talked a really long time. This is a question I ask sometimes on the show, is if you were to get canceled, why do you think you got canceled?
Sucking a dick on stage.
Tiny is one of my favorite bits you do. One of my favorite bits you do is when you bring like the audience members on stage, and like if you get someone to give you 20. Like,
I need to do that again.
You so don't do that anymore? I thought that was like a nasty show tradition. Yeah, that was so funny. What do you do every time, or like what's your system for that?
Well, do y'all want to see my titties? It's $20.
Yeah.
You got $20. Say, I'll bring y'all ass on stage.
Yeah.
One dude kissed me on stage. It was a dude that kissed me on stage.
Yeah. After that, I feel like that ruins it. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I hate that.
He was not from America. He was from a different country too.
Or wait, it wasn't a cool kiss, right? It was a bad kiss.
No, he like. Not that.
I
don't know you, but now you gotta give me some more money. He did give me some more money though.
Okay, well,
yeah. I don't know who you give me some more money. It's COVID still.
Yeah, we're not kissing for free. Okay.
Oh God.
Oh man, I thought maybe I was like, was he like Italian or French? Like, mwah, mwah, you know? No, it's just like right on the
lips. He kissed the lips.
I was like, I hate those moments where you're just going about your life and you're like, oh yeah, I can get sexually harassed. Like, you kind of forget, and then it happens, and you're like, oh, here we are again. Sorry, like that's a terrible way to look at it, but yeah, I think there was a time I like was doing a show in I think it's like Mandeville. It's like a suburb of New Orleans, and I headlined the show. I'm like at the merch table after, and this guy comes up and like pulled my bun and like tried to like touch my boob as he was doing it, and he got like thrown out. But I was just like, I'm literally sitting at my merch. Like I headlined the show. It was like, oh my God, like what the fuck?
He was so aggressive.
Yeah, so aggressive. I was like,
Relax.
fucking,
Yeah, that is so out of nowhere.
I was like, I mean, maybe for $500, you get.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna ask either of you, do you ever get like DMs on Instagram or TikTok that are like, I'm looking for a sugar baby, no sex stuff, just message me and I'll pay you a nice fee. Have you ever had those in your DMs?
I did it one time. I was like, oh, this is a scam.
yeah.
Like,
Sometimes I ride those scams out a little bit. I'm
It'd
like,
be fun though.
yeah. Sometimes they'd be funny. I remember this one guy was like, yeah, I'm really rich because I'm building a business city. I'm like, aren't all cities business cities? Like you've, but
that's one of the ones you're
he's like,
you're
it's a
fucking
city
idiot.
just all about business. I'm like, whoa, like New York. Like,
So, no, I have one today that was like,
they're almost always check scams for me. So.
yeah, what I was gonna say, I feel like it's check scams or it's like the people who give you the money and they're like, oh, but sweetie, I just need you to do one thing for me, like go get 5,000 eBay cards from the store. I remember that happened to me and I got so scared. I was like, I'm just sending it back. I'm like, I sent it back. Leave me alone.
That's the scam. That's the check scam. Is they send you money for like a check that's not gonna go through, and they're like, oh, but you need to like buy me these gift cards for my nephews or something. And so then like you cash the check and you get like $1,500, but he's like, keep $500 for yourself, but if you could please get me these 2 gift cards for like my nephews or something.
Yeah.
Or like so like mine was a GameStop card. I'm like, you're trying to fuck me over for GameStop,
immediately, you know,
like fuck you. Like
You really want that game.
and
well, I was gonna say, I feel like the only thing, I don't mean to cut you off, but I was gonna say, I saw a TikTok of like the new one. It's actually really so sad and so fucked up because it's like the job market is already so scarce. It's one where it's like you get hired for a job and they like, you know, say, here's your contract, here's your salary, and it like looks like a really good salary. You sign the contract and they're like, oh, before you get started, like you need like we're gonna need like a company laptop for you and like this, like we'll send you this check and you just gotta like you know buy. And so you buy like a fucking laptop and all this shit, and then what? You're overdrawn because they take the money out of the account. The money was never real.
Right, because
Yeah.
the check-ins, like, because at first your bank account would be like, oh yeah, you totally have $1,500, but then like later the bank will be checking the check and they'll be like, wait, no, this is from nothing. This is from nothing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's that's scary. That's scary.
The job
That-
one broke
yeah.
my heart. It was like a girl who, she like just graduated from college and she is like, I literally only had $50 in my bank account. Like I'm like $3,000 in debt now and I like don't have a job. I literally like left the part-time job I was at for this job. It's like so fucking evil. Like if you're at home and you're with this thing and you do that, like I don't want to be like pull yourself up by your bootstraps because I don't agree with that either. But don't fucking scam people. It's so mean. Don't do that. Do something else. I mean, I don't know. It's hard.
Scam corporations if you can.
Yes. Scam
Yeah, scam them. Don't
Scam
scam
the-
regular fucking people. It's
the rich.
Scam the rich. That is okay. It's
Scam 'em.
okay to scam the rich.
Yes.
We are broke.
Yes, yes.
Stop
yes.
scamming broke people, okay? It is about the time we got to do the song.
All right. Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we go into the song? Everybody, we can go round robin. Beckett, you got any last?
No, I think this was a good episode, an emotional episode at times. But I
I was like, Beckett is also in remission now.
but we definitely cracked open some heavy topics. Tiny, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I think I'm all tied up. I got it all out.
Tiny, you got any?
But buy a bidet. Buy a bidet. That's my
yeah.
thesis
I'm
statement.
about to say bye bidet.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you got a hot ass, go to Becca's house because he got cold water. That will shoot up your ass and cool it down.
Sometimes you gotta lower the temperature of your ass. That's why people used to stick thermometers up there.
Yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say is just thank you so much for joining us, Tiny.
I appreciate it.
Love you.
Love you always.
It's just great to have you here. And yeah, with that being said, our amazing accompanist, Becca Nix Tham. Here's $1,500, sugar baby. You just gotta buy me a bidet. Here's $1,500, sugar baby. You just gotta buy me a bidet. Here's $1,500, sugar baby. You just gotta buy me a bidet. Here's $1,500, sugar baby. You just gotta buy me a bidet.
Gotta buy me a bidet, 'cause I need it on my hot ass. Got a hot ass, ooh, it's so stanky, stanky hot shit. Oh yeah, oh you know I got a big stanky ass, so I need you to use the $1,500 I'm sending you to get a bidet, and come on, send it my way. And then you keep some for yourself. Yeah, you can use it to get on the highest shelf. Baby, just give me a bidet.
Take it away.
I need a bidet to wash my ass and be locked in the cage. Oh, Beckett got a bidet. Take. He got a hot ass, but he got cold water. Like I said, I need a bidet today. I want a bidet to play with my booty hole. Then next you know, I got a coochie hole. I want a bidet, for real. 1,500, I need a deal.
Here's $1,500 for my sugar baby. All you have to do is buy me a really expensive bidet. It has a stream for my butt and a stream for my pee hole. 'Cause sometimes
you
bananas
just gotta
in my
buy
pee
me a
hole.
bidet
Sometimes
for my
bananas.
very hot booty. A bidet for my hot booty. Hot booty needs some cold bidets. Yeah, I need it today. Ooh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh.
Unlike Beckett, my butt's cold, so I'm gonna get a seat warmer for my icy cold, brittle ass.
Yeah.
Oh, Tiny.
That was a
Britney
great one.
Spears, and you heard it.
Yeah. I love when you did the you did like a little and I loved it. It made me so happy. Tiny, I was gonna ask before we end things officially, can you please tell the people listening where they can find you on the internet?
You can find me on Pornhub. It's a girl that sucking dick, don't have her hair head in it. It's blurry. That's me. But
All of them?
all of them. And I'm still broke. I'm on porn don't get no money. I know you can follow me on Instagram at Thickemz Tiny. At ThickemZ TINY. Facebook Tiny Thickemz.
Yes, and we will put that in the show notes as well so that you guys can easily find it. Once again, please give it up for our amazing accompanist, Becca Nix Tham, and our amazing producer, Christine Ferreira, and the entire Lincoln Lodge podcast studio. I'm Jamie. This is Beckett. We'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. This is the big finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road.